Hello again, this is Brother Sean, and this is video 2 in the series of End Time Prophecies. My brothers and sisters, sharing with you my heart response to End Time Prophecy comes from love, not fear. And a lot of that fear is fed of misinformation. And I know the media and well-meaning people who say they receive channelings direct from enlightened beings, whilst I don't wish to discredit their information, but a lot of it is so academic and beyond me that I find it really difficult to comprehend a simple message that involves the word surrender, which goes on and on and on ad infinitum. And I would say to you, my dear friends, that if you really want to know what's happening regarding end-time prophecies, there is one thing that is guaranteed to give you the answers that you need. And it is simple. That's why I've embraced Franciscan spirituality, because it's simplicity. It's absolute simplicity. And the information you need to know, you already have it. And you'd be amazed how many brothers and sisters today who call themselves light workers, energy workers, working with angelic healing energy, and when you ask them about, or you share with them about 2012, they look at you in disbelief. And I say, what's the problem? And they always come back saying, I don't understand, I don't know what's happening. And I say, have you not reflected in your heart, oh, I'm far too busy. I say, well, I'm far too busy to tell you. And that's the problem today, my dear friends. We live in a society that's a nanny state, where people expect you to tell them exactly, verbatim, word for word, what is happening. But yet they're not willing to do the work themselves. They want you to do it for them. And this is, in my opinion, a total disrespect for the divine within us. The same loving Father, Mother, God that speaks to my heart is speaking to your heart, but sadly there doesn't appear to be access. In other words, it's like staying in a guest house or a hotel and you put the do not disturb sign on the door. Don't disturb me, I'm too busy. Well, putting it simply, there is a real opposing energy in our world today that Jesus told us about. And this energy is not positive, it's negative. And it's fear-based, it's guilt-ridden. And it feeds off the ego, and it denies the heart access to information. And what is so sad and so disconcerting is that you and I have the free will to honor our heart and be guided by our heart. But the energies associated with our head center and our ego are primarily fed from the Antichrist. Now I know that's probably going to shock you, and you're probably going to switch off. Well, that's your choice. But the person that Jesus talked about was the Antichrist. And the Antichrist creates fear and mayhem. And he and his followers will do their utmost to discredit you, to publicly humiliate you, and to have you go into a cupboard and die there. But we have a choice to honor the heart and surrender our heart to the divine source. The Antichrist that I talk about is the same Antichrist who tested Jesus for 40 days in the desert. He is real, and he's had a 2,000-year reign on this earth. But hey, his time is coming to an end. His barcode expires on the 21st of December 2012, when the new dawn of Aquarius releases a powerful loving light that will empower many of us to transcend. The Antichrist is the one who's responsible for all this negativity in our world. He feeds many minds to discredit one another and good people. And as I said in the previous video, when God created man and woman, He created them in His own image and likeness. And that's why I really do resonate with the teachings of the Therapeutae Essenes of Egypt, established by the prophet Enoch. And Enoch, in his former life, was the Archangel Metatron, the most high-ranking of all angelic beings. And the prophet Enoch gave us a way of life, and that was demonstrated for thousands of years. And Jesus was an Essene. I was an Essene. And those who've joined our community and those who are part of the Heart to Soul live stream recordings every day, we were all Essenes together, and we agreed with the Master that we would return to the most difficult of incarnations, this one, and that we would hold the Christ light within us, the cosmic Christ and the divine feminine, that would prepare many to embrace a loving Father, Mother God. But today, in our society, each human being has a choice. The two choices are, one, to surrender your heart to Source, to the Father, Mother God who created you in love, and allow the divine guide you, nurture you, and keep you on an even keel by honoring the divine within you. And the divine makes you a promise that they will meet all your needs, not your wants. The second choice is the choice that God has been given to mankind for 6,000 years. Will you surrender your heart, or do you decide to stay as you are and ignore the knock on my heart, my personal invitation to come and honor your sacred contract? And that choice is freely given. And should we choose not to surrender, the God who created us will continue to love us. We won't be ostracized, but what will happen as the universe is ascending, as Mother Earth is ascending, as the animal kingdom is ascending, so is our souls ascending, and we are releasing a lot of negativity. Those who choose not to, they will remain in third dimensional energy. Now this might all sound very confusing, but the simple question is this: are you willing to open your heart today and say yes to that invitation? I will surrender my heart to my truth and honor what my heart is saying. Or will I ignore that request and carry on as I am, feeding my ego, seeking more the adulation of ego than honoring the divine heart within? It's a simple choice. And many people have said to me about Saddam Hussein, wasn't he an evil man? And the same with Hitler. They're not evil. They were created like you and I in the image of God. And, interestingly, they, as a child of God, were loved, but they chose a different action. They chose to follow their head, not their heart. And by so doing, they're now paying the price for that. And all despots who destroy God's children will have to meet their Maker. But for today and for this video, my prayer is that you will come into your heart, and in silence, the gateway to your soul, the gateway to your God, you will be given the information that you need, information that's encoded in your soul's DNA that will explain to you what is happening.